supply chain gets shorter and profits grow. It's why businesses thrive here. Elk Grove Village.
Presence will instill confidence and commitment into this precious land. A brave man who will bring innovation and clarity to the American landscape. That man is, hello, Ralph the Robot.
Round out the top five for Elk Grove, and for Prospect, they have an all-senior starting lineup. Jerry Drucker, Drew Turpins, who is their main man, Cole Chapman, Aiden Walter, and Brian Cantieri.
I love the fact that Elk Grove's putting some full court pressure on. I'm a huge fan of pressure. And I know you can get burned on it, but you can't let everybody get so comfortable that they don't have to worry about anything. Good box out by Nate. Good box out. So, Gabe, the last game I did, which was about 2.5 weeks ago, there's 3 starters tonight that weren't on the floor for Elk Grove. They were all on injury.
You can see
Nate, Martirano, and Jimenez.
You can see tape on Nick Jimenez's right shoulder, dealing with some sort of a shoulder injury. As we get it into Aiden Walter underneath. Good defense from the Grenadiers.
I don't know why Walter didn't take that shot originally.
Offensive board by the Knights. Walter loses it. And Prospect retained with Drew Turpins.
There's another turnover. Foul. Elk Grove's engaged right from the get-go, and that's awesome to see.
They don't have a lot of size, but what they do have is a lot of hustle. A lot of these Elk Grove starters and pretty much a lot of the team also play football and also do a spring sport as well. A lot of triple threats out there.
This is a toughness 5 that I like. Hussein doesn't get thrown around. He's a great 3-ball shooter. Martirano, nobody's going to intimidate him. Devin Wilde, who might seem small in stature, he doesn't put up with anybody. It's going to be fun to watch because Prospect, notorious for hand checks. They try to get in your kitchen.
Here's Nick Jimenez at the top of the key. Dishes off to Amir Hussein, who can get real hot from the corner if he gets open.
He's got a wonderful shot when he gets it up.
Here's Govert from 3-point range. And now Devin Wilde, who pulls up from inside the arc. No good.
Look at Nate fight for that.
Govert couldn't get the board.
Devin just got a ticky-tacker.
And Devin Wilde is called for a foul.
Coach Orm's just asking a couple questions. I haven't been able to see anything yet, but he's got a better view. He's probably just trying to work the ref a little bit early on.
Early stages of this game, still no points. Almost 2 minutes in. Here's Drew Turpins.
Well, back to my point, Nate. That's a win for Elk Grove the first 2 minutes, and if that's the way you're coaching it, that's a W.
Prospect going cold to start. Their offense has struggled ever since losing Ben Schneider to a torn MCL injury. Going to the cup is Matt Martirano. And
yeah, that was Hussein. Ooh, we got a block on Wilde, I think. Maybe Amir. Yeah, it was Amir. He tried to. Nope, Wilde.
Devin Wilde called for his second foul early in this game, and Elk Grove have the early 2-0 advantage as Lucas Rogers checks into the game.
Yeah, Lucas was another player that hadn't seen any action up until a couple weeks ago.
He's dealing with an illness, and he's back in the fray for the Grenadiers. Turpins dishes to Drucker. And now underneath to Chapman. Chapman called for a travel.
Tell you, Hussein will not back down. Elk Grove's going to have some trouble with the lack of height, but if you can double team a guy like Chapman, I'm sure, with Schneider out there, they're also trying to figure out what they have. So let's see if we can jump out here.
Both offenses averaging less than 50 points per game. And most of that for Prospect came with Ben Schneider, who hit their regional championship game-winning shot last season against Stevenson.
Yeah, Schneider was a sophomore last year.
There's a steal from Drew Turpins, takes it to the cup, and we got a tie ball game early.
Lucas is not going to be happy with that. He kind of basically dribbled the ball right in front of the defender, and Prospect's not going to miss that.
Matt Martirano, and now Amir Hussein, and Govert across to Rogers.
Nicholas needs to take some shots, too. He needs to get involved early.
Jimenez across to Govert.
Travel.
And
Ooh.
call a block.
We're not going to worry about that call, are we? Well, he looked like he took a ton of steps.
Welcome those of you who have just joined on Facebook and all sorts of social media. Drew Turpins misses that layup, and they get the offensive board from Brian Cantieri, who puts Prospect ahead. Slow start for both offenses, both of whom are averaging less than 50 points a game. In a new era of basketball, a Bronson-less era for EG. There is a corner three from Amir Hussein.
I'll tell you, he heats up. He could change a quarter on his own.
He's going to be that guy for the Grenadiers to try and replace a little bit of what Bronson left.
Oh!
And we got a foul called here. The elbow, it looks like.
That was an odd one. Almost a full change out here, Gabe.
Devin Wilde and Nate Govert check out. Coming into the game is Roland Fouché and Frank Knight.
So watch Roland. He's a dynamic ball handler, and he can shoot anywhere. 2 feet inside half court, and he's got a chance. He just hasn't been taking a lot of shots this year.
Won't go from Brian Cantieri. Offensive board by Frankie Pajnajari. And across into that corner. Underneath for Cole Chapman. And Chapman gets the points.
Cole Chapman just had a pro move, right? Instead of just turning and going, he takes a big 45-degree back step with his left leg, clears out the defender legally, and it's just an easy bucket. And it's a big-time move. Well coached.
Here's Jimenez for Frank Knight. And Knight's pass just a little off target for Fouché.
Yeah, first couple minutes for Frank, maybe a couple jitters here, but we gotta keep the turnovers to a minimum. Here's a substitution I've been waiting for, Gabe. This is Chavez Rogers for Prospect. Chavez.
6'5", 240-pound senior forward. Absolutely dominant underneath.
I've seen some video, and I don't know that there's much offense, but his defense is just hysterical. I mean, nobody can get around him. Nobody can get near him. He's a rebounding machine, blocks.
Gren's forced the turnover, and it's Martirano at the point with 3 minutes remaining and a 6-5 lead for the Knights.
So this will be Prospect's big lineup, right? And Elk Grove has a bit of a small lineup going. Nicholas got away with one there.
Jimenez comes away with the ball. Martirano and Jimenez and Knight. And
Roland's
now
got to take that shot. I've seen Roland hit that shot 1,000 times, honest to Pete, and he had 4 to 5 feet before the defender. He's got to catch that and go.
Prospect already in the bonus with the new foul rules.
Yeah, I've only read that thing 20 times, and I still don't quite grasp it. So you're going to have to walk me through it.
Well, that was one of my talking points, actually. It's a rule change and a point of emphasis this year. And we'll get to it as soon as Prospect gets to the free throw line for one. Here's Pazanjari. And Jimmy Drucker. Wide open for Cole Chapman, who sinks a three and extends the Knight lead.
Not sure if that's his normal shot. Elk Grove's help defense has been outstanding. You just got to chalk that one up to open man, open look.
Kick out to Amir Hussein. And now it's Frank Knight at the top of the key. Martirano looking for some help. Gets it over to Fouché. And he draws the foul.
Roland's one of those guys, man. He's just got to get going. And, 2 free throws here might be it. 1 basket might be it. As a coach, you just got to almost say to yourself, all right, we're going to go as far as we can and let it happen. Because once he's on a streak, he can put up 12 easily.
Roland Fouché, a junior guard sinks the first free throw. John, they eliminated the 1-and-1s this year and pretty much changed the foul rules to be more like the NBA as opposed to more like college. And it also kind of adds a meaning to quarters, whereas they could have just played 16-minute halves like they do 20-minute halves in college, and it wouldn't have made much of a difference. Off target from Fouché. And they did it for two reasons. One, to eliminate as many rebounding situations that created a higher chance for injury. And for number two, to improve the game flow.
Oh, Amir
Hussein drives to the cup and gets a big 2 points.
Gabe, I'm understanding the portion of that, but what I have yet to figure out is, does it allow a team to come back in the fourth quarter as easily as it did in the past, right? Because it's the foul, send to the guy that can't shoot to the line, and then eventually get the turnover. I'm just not sure I've seen enough to know that hasn't hindered that.
Well, I'm sure that they're going to do some research onto that. The main thing that the NFHS Director of Sports and Liaison to the Basketball Rules, that's a title, Lindsey Atkinson said in regard to the rule change was that resetting the fouls each quarter will improve game flow and allow teams to adjust their play by not carrying foul totals to quarters 2 and 4.
I don't disagree with that, but I think there's some changes because of it, right? We're going to find out. Listen, Cooper Casterson's on the phone, Gabe. This is freshman I was telling you about. He's just fun to watch. He doesn't intimidate it, and he's a great ball handler.
Fouché kicks out to a wide-open Amir Hussein, and you know the rest. Amir Hussein was in a different zip code and gives the Grens the lead. Here come Prospect the other way with Aiden Walter. Underneath, nice pass from Chavez Rogers. And
so Elk Grove double-teamed Chavez when he got the ball, right? I don't see him scoring a lot. I don't know. I would just put single coverage on Chavez and watch the guy cutting down the lane. I think that's what his offense is.
Rogers out wide to Cooper Casterton and Fouché.
Roland picked up his dribble too early there.
Here's Hussein and Casterton.
11 seconds left, Gabe. They're going to look for one here. I'd like to see 11 get the ball at the end. Right back at him. There it is. Oh, good block by Prospect.
Blocked out of bounds by Aiden Walter. The catch and shoot for Amir Hussein was there. That's what he's most comfortable with, it seems.
Yeah, Prospects, they're into it. They know they're looking to get it to 11.
3.8 to go. Here's Frank Knight doing work underneath. Sets up what by Casterton. Not sure if that shot would have counted. And we have a tie ball game after one.
Yeah, Cooper didn't have a chance, right? That was just kind of a funky pass. He wasn't ready for it. And, you got 1.2 seconds left. But, I watched Cooper play last game, and he had some serious minutes in the second half. The game wasn't all tight, but really fun to watch. Like, he's just a supreme ball handler. He's a freshman. If you just looked at him, maybe if you looked at his size and, his baby face, you'd say, hey, he's probably a freshman. But if you look at his game, he certainly doesn't play like it.
I want one more thing on the 1-and-1s and the change in the fouls. It was a big point of contention. I remember I texted you and you weren't quite sure on quite why.
And that was months ago.
Yeah. Now that we've seen the season progress a little bit, the first thing that came to me was that teams like Hershey, who play extremely physical and have a lot of size, would be hurt from this. But after thinking about it, it seems like it would be quite the opposite. Have you noticed anything?
Prospect's always a scrappy team, too. Buffalo Grove has always been kind of scrappy. To your point, Hershey, that's taught, in the third grade. I was thinking, okay, the aggressor's going to win even more at this point. But I still go back to that last, you're down by 8 or you're down by 6 with 3 minutes to go, and all of a sudden you're just going to give them 2 shots. Like, the one-on-one is what kept people in the games, right? That's just my opinion. Get in there.
Lucas Rogers air ball as we begin quarter number 2.
Holy mackerel.
Drucker goes straight to the cup. Travel missed, and Prospect have the lead early in quarter number 2. The fouls reset.
Looks like Cooper's in for Wilde. And I know that's up there. Well, yeah, I know that's a short lineup, but I'd like to see those two at the top. Govert's going to check in here soon.
Here's Casterton.
I got to believe he's going to replace Knight. Good move by Roland.
Underneath to Fouché, who lost it and turns it over.
Yeah, I think he had more time than he thought.
So Prospect comes into this game. They're 7-3, and oh, that's the wrong standings. There we go. They're 7-3, 1-1 in conference. They have a game at hand, as do Wheeling on the rest of the conference, as that's brilliant. And into the corner goes Jerry Trucker. That's a wide open three, and great ball movement from the Knights.
Great ball movement. It was great defense by Elk Grove. They put a nice full court pressure and then a little half court press. Prospect can shoot.
These Knights will live and die by the ball movement and finding open shots. Prospect 1-1, 7-3. Elk Grove 0-3 in conference, and after beating Maine West on opening night, they've dropped 9 straight as they look to get a win before checking into the Hinkle Holiday Classic as early as tomorrow. To the rim goes Drew Turpins, and this is Prospect's quarter all the way so far.
Yeah, 6-0 run here, 7-0 run. They're going to get a timeout by Coach Orem. Don't blame them one bit. That layup there was the first time Elk Grove got beaten back to the rim. And you're 6 minutes into the quarter. It's not horrible, but that was a tough bucket. That's 5-7. That's a big swing.
So Nick Orham takes a timeout. Elk Grove, as I mentioned, 1-9 this season. And after going 8-23 last season, and we mentioned earlier, losing a lot of talent, have they switched the brand of basketball they play at all?
I haven't seen much difference. I mean, Coach Orem knows, you got to coach to what you have. But the one thing for sure is I haven't seen a full court press, and I don't see every game, but I haven't seen much of it at all. I've seen it more tonight than I've seen in a couple years total. And again, I don't see all the games, but I see enough, and that's good. He must trust his speed and his ability to get back and help, and it's worked for him so far, except for that last layup.
Game restarts with Nick Jimenez getting it into Matt Martirano. And into Nate Govert, who checks into the game into a double team.
Not much movement from Elk Grove here.
And we got a foul call on the ground.
Yeah, they came out of that timeout. It was kind of stagnant a little bit. Frank Knight was just kind of a post.
Martirano on the inbound gets it into Govert. Give and go with him. Here's Hussein.
Keep going.
Hussein takes it to the rim. Won't go. And here come the Knights the other way as Elk Grove rushes back. Turpins, cross court, and a three from Ryan Lifton. And they get the bucket and the foul. So Prospect will go to the line and try and make it a three-point play.
Chapman strong on the rebound, strong on the putback. We got caught, definitely. Took one on the arm.
Cole Chapman, his 6'3", 205 frame. Senior starter. You mentioned it's like a factory. And the seniority gets onto the floor for the Knights. Chapman completes a three-point play, and we're going to see Miles Schwartz here momentarily.
Miles brings a ton of energy. He's one of those gritty kids, man. He doesn't like to lose. He doesn't like to lose a coin flip, let alone anything else.
Lucas Rogers checks out and gets a cup of water and a breather.
I think Lucas is still trying to get some of his sea legs back. He was out for quite some time.
There's Martirano. And Amir Hussein. Jimenez and Schwartz getting his first touch of this game. Govert. Jimenez for three. That is beautiful from Nick Jimenez.
Cuts the lead to 7 by Prospect.
Here's Turpins, who is their main man. Nice save by Brian Cantieri. Turpins' pass got tipped by a couple of Grenadiers, and he's able to save it and put it in for two.
Yeah, that was a gift. That was a gift. We had the defense, tipping the ball, and just went right into their players' hands.
Here's Schwartz. bundle of energy, takes it to the cup and gets it in off the board.
What a nice way to come off the bench, right? You make a couple. Oh, that's a foul offense.
And they call a...
Margarano got it from cutting underneath, I believe. Miles comes in off the bench. He gets a couple ball handles on that side, comes back, and he goes right to the rim. It's a great way to start your minutes. It's a way to extend them.
They called that foul on Martirano. And so it sends Ryan Lifton to the line for 2, and he gets the first one. And here comes Chavez Rogers off the bench, replacing Brian Cantieri. And it's 2 from Ryan Lifton to make it a 25-16 Prospect lead. Here come EG with Martirano running the point. And Schwartz as the other guard. Schwartz takes it to the rim.
When in Rome, Gabe, like it works, right? They spread the offense out a little bit. Like Govert takes Chavez out of the play, Rogers out of the play a little bit, and opens up the lane for Miles. All he's got to do is beat his man.
Miles Schwartz to the line. We saw this a lot last year, especially when Bronson was at the line. Miles Schwartz, they don't send anyone onto the line to try and get the box out. And he missed his free throw there, but I'm assuming that they're really confident in his ability, but he misses both free throws there.
I think part of that, too, is you get an aggressive team on that. The breakouts can come from a missed free throw. A lot of breakouts come from a missed free throw. This kid's good.
Drew Turpin spins, shoots, won't get it.
It's going to be off us.
And
oh, boy.
It's EG ball.
We'll take it.
Off of Chavez Rogers.
Almost certain Nicholas touched that twice before it went out of bounds, but we'll go with it. Prospect's going to come at just a little press. Nothing huge, but just enough. That's how you get through it.
Here's Jimenez with Miles Schwartz yelling for the ball, and he gets the points.
Miles quietly and quickly, 4 points. That's our ball. Oh, man.
Nice attempt by Martirano to poke the ball out as Jimenez hits the deck on the back end of that play.
Coach Orem saw what I saw. That is 2 wrong calls, and we're going to call it even at the end of that.
Inbound.
They're going to double Rogers.
Pashnajari and a whistle. And they call a foul.
That was far from the ball.
Called it on Govert. That's Govert's second. And that's team foul number 3.
Nice substitutes for Govert. Watch this key out here. Number 2's the watch.
Here's Rogers. Underneath, nice pass to Drew Turpins, who powers through and gets it in off the glass.
Well, see, it's so easy in basketball. If you're doing anything backwards, you're more than likely not going to get called, right? He made the physicality. He made space for himself and had an easy layup. This is a really good play.
Nice pass from Schwartz, but Amir Hussein couldn't handle it underneath, and it's a turnover. Into Turpins with just under 3.5 remaining. And
Prospect leading by 9 here.
Foul called on Prospect.
Oh, that's number 3.
Offensive foul on Drew Turpins, who...
That's not the guy you want to have 3 fouls.
That's number 3.
And that was just nonsensical. There was no reason for it.
Ryan Lifton and Brian Cantieri, as we've seen, are good off the bench. Cantieri got the start today. Won't go for EG, and here comes Aiden Walter the other way. That's a 3 from Ryan Lifton.
That's a Prospect to do to you. If you can't get back on defense, they'll find an open man, and I bet you 4 out of 5 guys can hit threes at will.
Across to Hussein, who didn't have quite enough space to comfortably shoot that one. That gets tipped out of bounds. EG trying to save it. And at the end of it, EG come away with possession.
Yeah, we were at 11-11, Gabe, and now it's 30-18. That's just a nice little run by the Blue.
That's what you would expect from a 7-3 team going up against a team on a 9-game losing streak.
Absolutely.
Here's Jimenez doing work underneath. Kicks out to Schwartz. Extra pass for Hussein. That is what Nick Orham wants to see.
You got to ride that until either he goes cold or Prospect does a triple team. You just got to keep riding that.
Going to the board and scoring is Chavez Rogers, who got lost underneath.
How do you lose 6-5? Here comes Devin Wilde.
Here's Frank Knight.
I guess it's going to be for Martirano, but we'll see. Get in there.
Hussein for 3, and he
you,
is hot.
This kid's insane when he gets on going, man. It's crazy.
Catch and shoot, and you know the rest for Amir Hussein.
16 points in the second quarter already. It's a push. It's a push. Jeez.
They call it on Schwartz. He's not happy about it.
I'd love to make space in a basketball game if you're allowed to do that. That'd be great. Dribble with one hand and shove with the other.
Nick Jimenez comes out for the Grens. Devin Wilde coming back in after getting the start today. And they inbound in the backcourt to Jerry Drucker.
Just watch all the blue jerseys moving. They do such a great job at ball movement, but they also separate. They space. Nobody's standing still. Nobody.
In the corner are the Knights.
Nice play.
Losing it is Jerry Drucker, and it'll stay with Prospect.
Watch under the basket here.
A late substitution.
This is the inbounds where it ends up being one pass and it's a layup. You gotta defend your basket.
Will Fryer, tied for the smallest guy on this Knights team, comes into the game. Here's Rogers. Across Fryer. And unable to handle it. Or it was actually tipped out of bounds by Martirano.
I think I think Rogers is out there to facilitate. It's easy to get in to the ball. He can grab a rebound. I'm just not sure they're looking for him to score.
Here's Rogers across to Cantieri, who's back on. And here's Walter for 3. And he is absolutely killing the Grenadiers there.
You can't defend a three-pointer that goes off the backboard.
Got the bounce, and Aiden Walter is on the book tonight.
Man.
Here's Hussein for Frank Knight with under a minute to play in half number 1.
Shoot it.
Wilde takes it to the rim, and he'll go to the line.
You didn't give me the bank was open.
Oh, missed opportunity. I'm sure we'll get another one.
I guarantee you he was not trying to bank that three-pointer in. When it left his hand, I'm like, okay, let's get it.
Somebody call Chase.
Come on, Devin. There you go.
On target from Wilde for 1. 10-point game. This game here was a lot closer last year by the end of it. It was an 8-point game. It was one where Prospect had it and lost it, but still won it. They just let EG back into the game a little bit.
Coach Orham's used a lot of different combinations. I think he still might be kind of trying to feel out now that he's got everybody back. Who works well with who.
EG plays Barrington tomorrow morning at 10:30 a.m. in round 1 of the Hinkle Holiday Classic.
Those are always cool. You just have no idea which matchup you're going to get, right?
Exactly. Always draw a large crowd as well. And we got a timeout by Prospect.
It's a great timeout by Prospect, right? 21.7. You know he's probably more than likely going to go for one shot. He's got the 10-point lead. You know, why would you do anything quickly and allow Elk Grove to get 2 quick buckets on turnovers? So you'll see, like, kind of a motion-type offense. There'll be a lot of passing. But you got to watch out for with them is the drive and kick out for the 3 with the last couple seconds. You got to play heavy defense.
Both teams in the bonus as well, with 21.7 seconds remaining.
Yeah, if I'm a betting man, I say that Prospect shot, if it gets to that point, the last shot will be 15 feet or further out. Unless there's a wide open something. Right?
Yeah.
Even then.
You think they want the last shot that bad?
I don't see why you would speed up the game whatsoever. You're up 10 going into half right now. 21 seconds for them, that's easy to burn. I mean, that's what I would do. Let's say you take up a quick shot, right? Misses, Elk Grove gets a 3, turnover 3. You give them 6 points in 21 seconds. It can happen. I'd like to go in up 10, 12, maybe 13. We'll see what happens.
It'll be inbounded by Aiden Walter to Drew Turpins.
Elk Grove's going to go full court press here. Good help defense. This is where you got to watch out for the open layup.
Turpins with 12. And now Walter. And
Here comes
Turpins
the shot.
underneath to
Nice defense by Elk Grove.
Chapman.
Oh, where's the...
Won't go. Elk Grove holds on, and we take it to halftime with a 10-point Prospect Night advantage over the Elk Grove Grenadiers, who are trying to snap a 9-game losing streak.
Coach Orham, I believe, kind of thought Prospect was going to do the same thing that I thought, and he came out with this help defense, kind of a soft pressure right at half court, and it threw Prospect's play completely off guard. They did a nice job.
Stick
Elk Grove
around.
did a nice job.
Stick around. We'll have second half coverage of EG versus Prospect, and then we'll have the girls game after. You're watching Combo Night action right here on EGTV. Welcome back to Elk Grove High School for second half action between the Prospect Knights and the Elk Grove Grenadiers boys. John, Elk Grove is down 10, and Elk Grove is not favored in this game, but they're hanging with the Knights.
Well, I'm encouraged, after we got off the air here and I was thinking about it, Prospect, and I didn't keep track, but they had at least a 6-0 run, right? Elk Grove's defense has been fantastic. They're doing well passing the ball. They don't have as many scores as Prospect, but, without that run, this is maybe a 4-point game, so I'm encouraged.
These teams were tied at 11 after the end of one. Two of the big talking points, one for each team. First, for the Prospect Knights, is the fact that Drew Turpin's, their main man, is already on 3 fouls on just 9 points.
I'm a big fan of Coach Fernandez at this point. He got off his chair, assistant coach for Elk Grove, and said, you know what? They're making room for themselves by fouling the Elk Grove guy. It's just a complete shove out. Wow, why didn't he take that shot?
Drew Turpin's kicks out to a wide open Aiden Walter, who couldn't hit his shot, and they will go to the line, I believe, a foul on Amir Hussein. And so Cole Chapman will head to the line.
Only foul trouble. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
Only foul trouble right now on the board is for Elk Grove. It's Martirano. And then, as we spoke of, for Prospect, Turpins.
Biggest talking point for the Grenadiers has been Amir Hussein. We all knew that he was a corner 3 guy, catch and shoot. And he's at 16 points right now in just 16 minutes of basketball.
You're going to see a substitute for Nate Govert. He got beat on a box out on a free throw. And if it's not Nate Govert, I'll send my... Oh, he takes Nicholas. Okay. I was ready to lose a mortgage payment there. You can't get beat on a box out on a free throw. You just can't. And it wasn't a high out rebound.
Underneath and Prospect have 2 points. And here come Elk Grove after they turned that into a 3-point play, the Knights did, on the missed box out. Here's
Elk Grove's just not moving. It's just the plays are taking quite some time to set up.
Martirano with Rogers and company in motion.
Rogers is going to run the baseline here.
Here's Govert. Out to Lucas Rogers. And Devin Wilde. Kick out for Martirano. Takes it to the free throw line. Now Nate Govert.
Keep going.
Runs out of room. Takes a shot with a hand in his face. Great defense from Cole Chapman.
Martirano, to me, doesn't look like he's interested in shooting. I'm sure Prospect has picked up on that.
Here's Chapman. And Aiden Walter. And Drew Turpins, who really has to watch himself.
Yeah, I'd be running stuff right at him. If you can get him out of the game, that's not a bad thing.
Turpins off target from the elbow. Here's Hussein, takes it to the cup, gets the foul, and he'll go to the line for 2.
It's a great take by Amir. Great take. What's nice about Amir, too, is he's a 3-point threat, obviously. Any team would take him, but he's not afraid to get down low and get to the line, and that's exactly what we need, right? We need some points without the clock ticking. Chapman's got 2. It'd be interesting to see if we catch him in a 3rd foul.
This game last year was an 8-point contest. As I mentioned, it was... Prospect had a problem last year of letting teams back into games. I think the only win in conference that they had that was greater than 10 points was the one that they got at home against Elk Grove. Everything else was within 10 points, close game.
It's a great basketball conference. It really, really is.
Off target from Turpins, offensive rebound by Drucker.
Drucker looks like he's skilled, but I haven't seen him take many shots. Oh, nice putback.
Wouldn't go from Cole Chapman. Neither would the putback.
Let's see what Prospect does here. They look like they're just going to sag back and play normal.
Here comes Martirano. Be sure to stick around as we have coverage of the girls' game between these two same teams.
Shoot it.
Amir Hussein for 3, and he got his shot tipped, and right into the hands of Martirano.
Martirano's got to find a way just to throw that up, even if it's over his head. He was literally underneath the rim. Come on, Lucas.
Rogers fumbles it for a second, grabs it, won't go.
Good defense by Prospect.
Couldn't catch any glass. Here's Trucker. Trucker going the other way and takes it the length of the court for two.
That one, we had a lot of our defenders that weren't watching the ball, and it just opened up. All it is an easy one-on-one beat, and they got the height. That's an easy basket for Prospect.
And Nick Orham is probably saying the same thing to his team, taking a timeout in quarter number 3.
Well, he's been working this referee that's running the baseline a couple times here, and I don't blame him one iota. I mean, Prospect has a lot of shoves. They get away with it. And yet, you look up, and Elk Grove's usually winning, which we'll call winning. It's actually losing the quarter on fouls.
Be sure to catch EGTV's Holiday Movie Marathon, where you can watch a whole bunch of old-time holiday movies to get you in the spirit of December. Tomorrow we'll catch Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, and Sunday is Scrooge right here on EGTV.
I want to see the Martian one. I'm setting my DVR for that. That is definite will be a new watch for me.
It comes to no surprise that I haven't seen either of those. I feel like every day my dad mentions a new actor or someone from his time, and I have no idea who it is, and then I get clowned on for it.
Well, the problem is if your dad's anywhere near my age, the only time we offer up their names anymore is because they hit the dead list.
Yeah.
Man, it's crazy.
Memoriam. It's unfortunate. It's part of life, though.
The circle of.
Exactly. Gren's down 14 with the ball.
Coach Orm is not at all excited about this referee running the baseline right now. I don't blame him one iota.
Here's Martirano at the logo. And Frank Knight and Devin Wilde.
This setup is much more conducive for Elk Grove. Hey, we got a call.
Loose ball. Knocked out of bounds by the Knights.
A lot more movement. On this offensive set they had previous, like they're waiting for screens, and it's like the screens are taking forever to set up. And if it takes forever to set up, the defender, right, he knows it's coming. You just sidestep it. One of the best screens is the one you never knew came. Never saw it.
Here's Martirano. Underneath for Hussein. And a kick out to
do a little mini
Rogers. Hussein couldn't get the shot to go as it was tipped a little bit. Underneath from Turpins, and a nice layup from Jerry Drucker.
Solid play. Solid breakout there.
That's Drucker's 6th point of the game. Turpin still leads the players that are on the floor right now.
Oh, Martirano's got to find a way. He's got to find a way.
Martirano loses it. Turpins takes it over and takes it the other way. All the way to the rim goes Drew Turpins, and he can't get the shot to go.
Take it right at him, Kevin. 1-2.
The other way, Devin Wilde to the rim, and that one won't go.
Elk Grove seriously worried about blocks at the rim, and their shot's not exactly the way they want it.
And
I'd like to see Devin try to twist him 360, right? It's like a jab step left, jab step right, and then like a little head fake, and he might have given himself a little more space.
Drucker just picked up foul number 3.
It's a lot like hockey, you know. If you're running at somebody and they turn their hips, they're committed, right? And you see it, and then you go the opposite way.
So 2 Knights are on 3 fouls. One of them is out there, number 10 in baby blue and white. And a turnover on a bad pass from Rogers.
Cooper didn't know the play.
Here's Walter and Pajnajari.
I love that Cooper's out there again. I really do. I want to see some minutes out of him early and often.
Chavez Rogers bullies his way to the cup and bullies his way into 2 points. Here's Casterton.
I think as Cooper gets a little older, Elk Grove doesn't even know the ball's coming here.
Off the fingertips of Lucas Rogers and a turnover, and it's kind of falling apart now.
Yeah, you got kind of a funky lineup. Like these guys, this 5, I haven't seen this 5 out together all night. You got 2 ball handlers in Cooper and Roland. And Devin.
3-quarter court press.
Can't happen.
Which the Knights beat easily. Here's Pajnajari and Aiden Walter. Kick out for a wide open Turpins, and he's gone ice cold.
Yes, he has. You took the words right out of my mouth, and that's not a bad thing. Like, just maybe slack a little defense on him until he makes one. But as you know, everything's streaky.
Wilde going right to the cup, and referees say that's a clean block by Ryan Lifton. Here's Walter on the other side, and that one won't go. Out of bounds, pass straight to Nick Gorham.
Well, I'll tell you what, if I'm a prospect coach, I'm a little worried about their play right now. It's turned really sloppy this first half or second half. It's not like them to do that. And if Elk Grove could get hot at all, it could make their life miserable a little bit.
Despite the sloppy play, the Knights have an 18-point lead, which is the biggest of the night.
Yeah, neither team's looked great coming out of the half.
Here's Rogers. Once again, looked a little stunned to get that ball. And Frank Knight. Miles Schwartz, who checked back in.
Good fake screen there by Knight. He couldn't get him the ball, though.
Schwartz gets it to Casterton on the baseline. And a travel called on the Grenadiers. And that's another call that Nick Gorham and yourself aren't too pleased about.
Full court pressure here for Elk Grove. I like it. Just something different. Something different.
Inbound to Turpins. And they call a foul on Turpins.
That's 4. That is 4, and that's important.
He's a little bemused.
Let's catch another one on Chapman, and let's see what happens in the last quarter.
Into Frank Knight. Right back to Lucas
good
Rogers. Takes it to the rim. Nice defense from Jack Skoog.
That took about 7 minutes to call that foul, but it was called nonetheless.
They do send Rogers to the line for 2.
That's a great take by Lucas. I mean, he had nothing but court in front of him and went up strong.
That foul puts Elk Grove into the bonus for the remaining 80 seconds of this quarter.
Yeah, I'm a firm believer that the reason why we're not on the line is we don't have the height, and Prospect can get a pretty easy breakout layup if we get our guys tangled up down low. You know what I mean?
I do.
Oh.
Gonna have to get a couple turnovers here.
Chavez Rogers was so wide open underneath. They didn't see him. There he is. That's his first 2 of the night, I think.
Chavez Rogers has, the board says he's got 6.
Cooper's got to battle through and get to the rim. It doesn't matter what the color or what team they're playing.
Casterton gets blocked by Ryan Lifton.
As a freshman, he's got to be a little intimidated maybe, but he's got to play his game. I've seen it. It's legit. He belongs out there, believe me. Sloppy.
That's stolen by Frankie Pajnajari, and Lucas Rogers picks up a foul on the back end.
Yeah, that was just kind of a no-nonsense look inbounds. Prospect was all over it.
Inbound to Ryan Lifton. Underneath for Rogers, and Chavez Rogers once again gets his way to the cup.
If you're going to draw out a breakout, that's what you draw up, right? 3 passes and a layup.
Here's Frank Knight and Roland Fouché. Rogers wants it, doesn't get it. Here's Schwartz, and takes it to the rim, won't go. And picking up the rebound is Turpins. Loose ball on the floor. And Casterton got down and dirty.
Nice job.
Got the ball. And it's a 20-point advantage for the Knights.
Yeah, it just gets away that quickly, right? It's just so unfortunate. You got to be spot on. You just can't take any minutes off.
You mentioned Prospect is a basketball machine. We got to talk about Rolling Meadows because we always do, but they are in a Christie-less era and are still dominating. They're 8-1 and a perfect record in conference.
Yeah, they're fun to watch, right? They go about things a little differently. They typically, now I haven't seen this year, typically they're nowhere near as physical as Prospect or a Hersey or even a Buffalo Grove. But They always have shooters, right? The Christie era was, 6 years long between the two brothers?
Seven,
maybe?
Something like that.
So they've always had that one guy, but typically they have some crisp, clean shooters, and they run great offensive sets,
Of course, Max Christie now in the NBA with the Lakers.
Yeah.
Cam Christie
Minnesota?
playing in Minnesota.
Yep.
Has
Good play.
revitalized that Golden Gophers program. Wouldn't go for Lucas Rogers.
Nate's going to pick one up, just being aggressive. That wasn't a foul. That was a mugging.
And with 10 seconds left, Govert picks up number 3.
Jack Scoogin, another tall prospect player, senior, I believe.
Turpins and a last-second shot from Pajnijari wouldn't go. And the Chavez Rogers putback is waved off, and that'll wrap up quarter number 3, a quarter that saw the prospect lead swell to 20, 48-28.
What did we have at the end of the third?
14.
At the half. I don't know. I think Elk Grove might have put up, maybe 2 or 4 that quarter. Might have been more, but
I think it was 4.
yeah.
I believe it was 18 points at halftime.
Yeah, so
10.
Yep. I don't know. You got to get your shooters out there if that's what you want to work on. I still understand and would love to see Cooper play some minutes. Everybody's a true freshman in high school, but he really is a true freshman. He's only got so many minutes, but I can see him being your future ball handler for 3.5 more years. And what better way to do it, right?
Exactly.
Just get him some serious minutes early. As long as he doesn't get intimidated and get down on himself, if he understands why the minutes are coming and it's okay to fail at times, I think it's a great thing. Lucas kind of firing up his team out there, and I can appreciate that. We've witnessed him in football, and he's not a calm dude, man. He doesn't like to lose, and
plays with a lot of fire.
Yeah,
has a lot of skill to back it up.
He's a great athlete.
That he is. One more frame to go. Stick around. We'll have coverage of the girls' game.
That should
this
be
game.
That should be a good game.
The girls are riding a 3-game winning streak after having a slow start themselves. As Hussein can't go. I was just about to say that Amir Hussein, oh my goodness, Rogers came up with that.
Yeah. Nate got away with another mugging. I don't know how he got away with it, but he did. That's a reach.
Govert will draw the foul.
It's a reach on Chapman. I believe that's number 4. Number 3.
I'm not sure exactly how long Hussein was out there last quarter, but he has not registered a point since halftime. Here's Schwartz charging right at Turpins, trying to draw that 5th foul. And Rogers.
Make your room.
Rogers spin drive to the cup, wouldn't go. Unable to get the rebound is Frank Knight. Instead, it was Brian Cantieri. Turpins kicks out. Lots of good ball movement by the Knights. Drive to the rim from Jerry Drucker, and he puts it home.
Pretty play by Drucker there. That looked nice.
Is this must-score territory here, John, or is it already?
No question. I mean, this is the whole entire offense is cold, and if I don't get a bucket here, I might do a wholesale change, honestly. I'd probably leave Hussein out, but nobody else has really shown the will to take a shot, and when they do, it's not going in.
John, let me ask you something. You have Amir Hussein, who's prolific at the catch and shoot, and you have him inbounding the ball.
Well, I like it in a way where you can run a screen baseline and have him pop out and get it, but it just didn't develop, obviously. Margarano let the ball bounce a few times, and it takes away, basically all the timing of the play.
The air is kind of came out of the balloon in the Elk Grove High School main gym.
Yep.
As a travel has been called on Margarano. It's a 22-point advantage for the Knights.
Yeah, you're going to see probably a bench. Probably Prospect will bring out the bench here shortly. Trying to look up points of the year for.
They get it into Jerry Drucker with 6.5 remaining in the first game of our doubleheader tonight.
Yeah, Elk Grove's gone flat. You know, the gym's gone flat. That's just how it is. I mean, they just had that run out. And
lots to build on, though.
yeah, the first half wasn't entertaining, man. And they played great defense, and Cooper got some minutes, and Hussein got hot. Just kind of lost it here at half.
Wouldn't go.
Charge.
A charge called on the Knights.
Great play by Martirano. Another kid, ton of heart, right? Played really good football this year for us. Last year, I believe.
Yep.
I think he was a starter as a junior.
They used him as a slot receiver.
Yep.
Among other.
There it is, Lucas. Make your room. That's it.
Rogers spins around Cantieri and gets the points.
He uses his body to be a defender of the defender, and that was a good move by Lucas. Nice high right hand.
Prospect go quickly, and
another charge.
They pick up another charge.
Amir.
No, they called on the ground. No, they called charge.
Yeah, Amir getting his body involved. Who was that on, I wonder?
I didn't
Chapman,
hear.
it's 4. Yeah, it was on Chapman.
The board
4.
says that number 10 has 3, but Turpin's, I'm almost positive, has 4. There's Schwartz, takes it to the rim. Nice defense by Drucker, who tried to save it from going out of bounds.
What a great take by Miles. Like 4 defenders just standing there doing nothing, which is odd for Prospect. He's like, the heck with it. You guys are just going to watch me. I'm going to go to the hoop. Great take by Miles.
Prospect already in the bonus in the fourth quarter. And there's still 5.5 to play. Here's Schwartz, kicks out to Martirano and Hussein.
I see a lot of Elk Grove screens that aren't used. Good take.
Hussein takes it to the rim, can't come up with a bucket.
Yeah, I see Elk Grove trying to set a lot of screens, but the ball handler, the teammate, he gives a kind of little jab step and goes the other way.
Here's Drucker and Walter. And Drew Turpins being guarded by Schwartz.
Prospect's just getting a little air out of the ball here. Just standard move, and I would do the same.
Here's Drucker. Drucker taking it to the rim and gets it in off the glass.
And that's what you're waiting for on that play, right? It's just kind of a motion play, and everybody's kind of moving around. And the minute you see any space for a layup, that's what you go after.
And when you're down 22 points, the last thing you want to see is Chavez Rogers check back into the game. But that's about to happen for the Knights. Hussein takes it to the rim.
Totally mugged. I can't believe Coach Orham's still sitting there. I mean, I'm happy. It's good that he's keeping his temper in check, but I'll take over for him.
Hussein's hot start has really cooled off. He is on 17 points right now. Here come Prospect with Walter.
Yeah, they'll start to swing it around a little bit.
Rogers kicks out for Aiden Walter. And Rogers at the top of the key. Fans want Rogers to shoot that.
3 seconds.
Well, that's what they were saying 3 about.
Yeah. Boy, you don't see that called much.
No, not at all.
Really? It's one of the best rules in basketball, quite frankly.
I think that's the first time I've ever seen that called at the high school level.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a great rule because especially if you got a big guy, you can just hang out there and it really becomes, like, impossible.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. You don't see it very often whatsoever.
John, have you heard anything about the Brendan Savage, Hinsdale South situation at all?
I have not. I have not kept up with anything other than MSL stuff.
Well, at the next break, I'll tell you a little bit about it. It's a story that brings up a bigger issue. I'll say that much right now.
Carry.
And a travel.
Yeah, it just rolled up on his shoulder. Yeah, what is going on down there?
Well, Hinsdale South started the season, and basketball is a cut sport over there. And I'm just pulling it up. It's a bigger part of a lot of turmoil in the basketball season for District 86, Hinsdale District 86.
Mm-hmm.
Brendan Savage was an all-conference player for Hinsdale South in his previous 3 years. He's a senior this year. and he was cut from the team in his senior year after tryouts. Shocking revelation that he got cut. His mom, Erin, files a lawsuit at the school against the school district, citing retaliation against Brendan for speaking out against his old coach, Michael Moretti, for bullying him. That was something that was going on in February of last year, right at the end of the season. The result of the district's investigation into Brendan's claim last year was that there was inappropriate conduct on Moretti's side, and while they didn't admit that it met the school district's code for bullying, they decided to they considered it enough to give him the axe, as we're going to see a wholesale change.
Yeah, wholesale change for Elk Grove. I love this, and we'll get back to that in a minute. I love this, okay? A lot of coaches get away from this, and it stinks. Kids show up 5:30 in the morning, 1 through 12. You've got a situation to give somebody some quality minutes that bust their tail for their teammates. This is a great thing to see. More coaches should do this.
For the Grens, Jack Bice is on the floor, as well as Jaden Lorenz and Daniel Pasterski and Dean Park. And then the guy with the ball is Daryl Hunt.
Daryl is my favorite player of all time for Elk Grove football in the last couple of years. Just fun to watch.
Prolific running back for the Grenadiers. Used him a lot out of the backfield last year, as well as this year.
He was kind of like a nose tackle a couple of years ago. He was a stud on defense.
Jack Skoog out there for the Prospect Knights, as well as Caden Vaif.
So what was the end game on that lawsuit?
Well, so I told you that Aaron sued the school district, and it was reported by Michael O'Brien of the Sun-Times. After O'Brien gets a hold of the story, it takes off. You know, everyone's making fun of him for having his mom come up and defend him, and then there was the other side of the story that maybe this kid is a locker room cancer. You know, and it was it delved into the issue of you need to know all the facts and hear both sides of the story before
100%.
You make an opinion. Well, he was reinstated onto the team a couple days later after major pressure from the public, and he played his first minutes against Downers Grove North. Hinsdale fans backed him, chanting, "We want Savage," and ever since he was cut, all the new coach would hear is, "We want Savage." DGN fans mocked him as he came onto the floor chanting "Mama's Boy" at him.
Yeah. In my opinion, that's where you have an athletic director go to your fan base and put an end to it. As far as Mama's Boy, that would not happen on my watch. But listen, that's such a huge story, and there's so many coaches. And I don't mean anything about the MSL. I don't mean anything about. I'm talking in general, high school sports, right? There are so many thousands and thousands of teams, and it's stuff you got to watch. There are some coaches, you see it in college basketball, college football. The will to win, it's an obsession. And I think sometimes, especially in high school, you're looking to make a better person out of that player. And if you so happen to run into a conference championship and you think you're there halfway through the season, I think you could pivot. Say, okay, I got 6 guys I'm going to play, or 7. But over and over and over, and I've seen it, is just the focus to beat the snot out of everybody and look at my record, and it drives me batty. And what Coach Orham did here tonight, to me, is just gold standard for what you should do. This is 18-year-olds and younger, right? Nobody cares about Coach Orham's record, not even him a year later. Nobody knows what it was, right? You're trying to build adults, and tonight was awesome. Sounds like what they have down there is somebody's feelings got hurt, whether it was the coach probably or the player, and the will to be the best took over instead of working through it and making it better an adult. And quite frankly, some of the coaches in the country, they're being outclassed by some of their 18-year-olds, really, is the way I feel.
Well, there's also the other side to it of, and I'm not at all saying that Brendan Savage was overreacting in calling out a coach that was bullying him, but maybe there's also a side of it is was the coach bullying him, or is that just his style of coaching? And I'm not saying that style of coaching is correct,
right?
But everyone has their different style, and that was one of the big points of contention. But to see something like this, where and the lawsuit is still pending, so
yeah,
it's still an up in the air case. But if they find out that there was no retaliation, I don't understand how you can cut a guy like that.
He was almost there. Elk Grove's going to go down on this one, and I think the first half said a lot. The second half, they just came out completely flat. It's going to happen. I'd like to see Amir Hussein. You can't end this broadcast without telling him what a game tonight for him. Just super.
17 points, a lot of catch and shoot threes.
17 points out of 32. That's a dang good night, man. Very good night.
He's a prolific shooter. A nice block from Daryl Hunt. I believe that was Hunt. It was on the far side.
I'd watch that kid play ping pong, man. I love his energy. I don't know what it is. It's one of my favorites.
And so, all is academic here. 63-32. 5 more seconds to play. Inbound to Jack Muehlinger. And that'll wrap up.
That'll wrap it up.
A 63-32 win number 8 on the season for the Prospect Knights. They improved to 8-3 and 2-1 in conference. This is Elk Grove's 10th straight loss after winning the opening night game. And they are now 0-4 and bottom of the MSL East.
Well, here's the good deal, Gabe, is the fact that you came back to do a game with me. I was super excited. We talked about it, texting and whatnot. The beauty of it is I get another one in about 30 minutes.
Yep, make sure you stick around for that game. Prospect holds on and beats the Grenadiers 63-32. We're going to have coverage of the girls' game coming up in, like John said, just about 30 minutes. So stick around. You don't want to go anywhere. This is Combo Night Basketball on EGTV. Send it down to Ken Grams. Welcome back to Elk Grove High School for Game 2 of our doubleheader. We send it down to Ken Grams, legendary softball coach Ken Grams, for the starting lineups. Those are the dulcet tones of the legendary person, Ken Grams, giving the starting lineups for both teams. We thank you for joining us. John Walls next to me. I'm Gabe Newman. Game 2 of our doubleheader. And, John, you were telling me a little bit earlier before we started about how this team plays. And you mentioned one player that isn't starting but is most likely going to see some time. Nigela Sefik, what you were saying about when she's on the court, they play a different brand of basketball.
She's high energy. She's a force to be reckoned with down low. And this will be my third girls game I've done, and they've grown each game. And I've talked to Coach Moore and Linfors, and that's what they're expecting. Coach Linfors said on the first game that we did, she doesn't even know what she has at this point. They're trying to figure out who matches up with who, and I'm anxious to see if they've grown because they grew mightily from game 1 to 2 that I saw, so we'll see.
Courtney Linfors is in her second season as girls coach, taking over for Jennifer Buxton. Grenz turn it over, and Skylar Splinter puts points.
This will be a standard prospect full court press early on. See how Elk Grove busts it. Another pass quickly. Now another one. Get it over her head.
For prospect, watch out for Allie Linke. She is
timeout, coach. Timeout.
She is the girl, and an early timeout for Courtney Linfors.
Yeah. So okay, this is my favorite play in high school basketball is a full court press. I love breaking it and I love defending it. It's pressure, and if you're not ready for it, this is what you had, right? I think Elk Grove will come out a little bit differently, but you can't dribble out of it unless it's wide open. You have to pass out of it, and passes can never go lateral, and they can never go backwards. And you watch this one, he went lateral and backwards. I'm going to guess when we come out of this, prospect will pull off it, but they'll do it again. Coach Linfors is just explaining to her, this is how we do it. The only time you dribble is when you get close to half court, and if your defender is going back with you, then you bust tail to get over the half court line. This, to me, is what makes high school basketball, is a full court or half court press.
We mentioned the 9-game, now 10-game losing streak by the boys after winning their first game of the season. As there's a nice shot from Maggie Maher to open up the scoring for EG. EG is riding a 3-game winning streak after starting 0-9 themselves.
Yeah, Maggie's kind of the engine that can on this team. She's pretty much the captain in my eyes. I don't know what's behind the scenes, but she's a heady ball player, doesn't ever give up.
Allie Linke will take a 3, will take it up the court. She'll do just about anything. Dishes out in the corner now. Back with Linke. Takes it to the rim, kicks out for Riley Carroll. Carroll loses it.
Yeah, good defense.
They call travel.
Interesting offensive set by Prospect. They had absolutely no interest in going into the paint. It was all perimeter, and Elk Grove stood their ground. It was great defense by Elk Grove. So let's see what happens on this press here.
Nice new energy
Forward,
hit the
there
gym.
it is. Now you can get a layup out of this.
Here comes to the rim Ariana Trausch. And a whistle.
You're looking to get out of that full court press in 2 passes. 3 max, right? But if you're constantly going forward, it should be 2.
He's out of bounds. EG get the ball back. Here's Maggie Maher. Loose in the paint. And picked up by Trausch.
Elk Grove's had a little turnover problem here early on. You can't have that against Prospect. Oh, Maggie Maher.
Maggie Maher gets the foul and the bucket. And this place erupts early. She'll go to the line to try and complete the 3-point play.
Yeah, for a holiday break game, this gym is crowded for an Elk Grove game. It's awesome. I love to see the support.
Speaking of holiday breaks, EG will go into the Wheaton North tournament after this game. And that one starts on the 27th, which is when most holiday tournaments start. I don't know why Hinkle is starting so early. I think because it's a bigger tournament.
Yeah, they probably have a ton of teams. Tournaments are fun. If you're a high school basketball junkie, and I know a couple guys that are, you can find some serious matchups throughout the northwest suburbs.
Offensive rebound stolen away by Maggie Maher, and a jump ball.
Proviso usually has one that's just unbelievable. The future pros that have come through that Proviso, I think it's West tournament, is just crazy. Prospect's not going to give up on that press here. Elk Grove did a nice job last time.
Wheeling more locally has a
That's it.
tournament,
There you
a boys basketball tournament, the Hardwood Classic.
Yeah, that's been a staple in the northwest suburbs, right?
Yep. Here comes Skylar Splinter to the rim, and she will draw the foul.
So I know for years the boys Grenadiers went to the York tournament, and then that just the Jack Tosh tournament was called back in the day at York.
It still is.
Yeah, and they got out of it a couple years ago, and I wasn't disappointed about it, quite frankly. A lot of Northwest Suburban MSL teams are in it. You're kind of playing the same people you're always playing.
That one won't go for Skylar Splinter. Is that like a contractual thing or
It's an invite, and I don't know much after that, but it's definitely an invite. And you can turn it down, but I think once you turn it down, you're not getting back in unless they invite you.
I'm sure there's some teams that are must-watch basketball, and they try and get a good mix of struggling and really good programs.
Yeah, it's seeded, no question. And they do a nice job. They do their research, you know. That's a good bucket there. She got fouled, actually, and still went up with it.
Allie Linke, the recipient of those 2 points, and it's a tie ball game early.
And I've said this a lot in the past. When you bust a break like they did, your energy's super high, your heart's racing. A lot of times you'll get silly turnovers because you're still engine's running hot. Coaches will like you to back it out. Just take your time, catch your breath, and run your offense.
Dirty work underneath by Ariana Trausch, getting those 2 points. That was wonderful basketball from her.
So I think Samantha Cherry's going to see some more minutes because Gianna Wright is out tonight.
Gianna Wright out as well as Katie Wirtz.
Yeah, both of those saw minutes the last couple games that we saw.
Allie Linke, sophomore forward, who pretty much runs the entire team, ran it as a freshman last year. She's at the line for 2 more. With 4:42 in the opening frame remaining.
Yeah, the last game we did, I believe, was against Buffalo Grove. I believe Elk Grove girls either tied 1 and 1 2 quarters or vice versa. But anyway, they did catch the loss, but they grew quite a bit in the 2 weeks since I'd seen them prior to that.
Now, Buffalo Grove is really off to probably the worst start imaginable. 0-11 for girls basketball, and it's just I haven't had time to watch them. As that's a wonderful shot, and 2 more points.
Maggie's giving us a Amir Hussein look here. She's on fire.
Speak of Amir Hussein, Gina Falls catch and shoot in the corner.
Yeah. The boys player Amir Hussein tonight for Elk Grove had 17.
That's stolen by Linke.
Oh, that's a great move by the Prospect player. She let them all go by.
And spinning around, number 20, and scoring.
That's Zoe Brown, and she's shown some serious skills.
First time Prospect have led early stages of this game.
Danica's got to take that. She's wide open.
Here's Duckman. And that goes off of Maher and out of bounds. Maggie Maher, I know she coaches soccer. I believe I know she plays soccer. I believe also she plays volleyball, if I'm not mistaken. So that's another triple threat that you have on the girls' side of things.
Yeah, she's one to watch. I really enjoy her game. She's super into it. I've seen her take a lick. I mean, like, get hammered, and there's not much emotion. She just wants to get up and get back at the game.
Allie Linke fights through Grenadier defense and gets a hard-earned 2 points. Now here comes Maggie Maher.
Prospect plays such great defense, man-to-man.
Loose ball picked up by
Turn and
Danica
shoot.
Little. And
Where's the block? Oh, my goodness.
on the ground is Ariana Trausch. Turnover by the Grens. Going back the other way is Zoe Brown.
Such a big non-call down there, right? I mean, that should have been a block on Prospect. Ball out underneath, and that call goes unscathed, and we get down here to layup. I mean, to me, that's like a 4-point swing. And it was right in front of the referee.
That one errant from Maggie Maher and another turnover early.
Yep, that's what will get you, turnovers. They got to stop the turnovers.
EG went 9-20 last season, 2-8 in conference, with both of those wins coming against Wheeling. Prospect had a much better season, 23-10. That's a 700 winning percentage, and 9-1 in conference, with their only loss coming against the conference champs
Travel.
in Hersey.
That's good pressure defense, good help pressure defense by Elk Grove, and just made her pick up her step. Elk Grove needs a bucket here. This is not a make or break, but it would be nice to get double digits and get this less than 5.
Here's Maher. Maher trying to get past.
Just annihilated. Just annihilated.
And Maher stays down as Splinter was.
Coach Linfors is quietly, I will say, riding the referee who should have had that call.
And you mentioned taking a knock and staying in the fight.
She's a tough one. Yeah, that's probably not a bad idea. Just see how she's doing and give her a breather here.
And she's in some visible pain, Maggie Maher, holding her abdominal area. And let's see if she can continue. In the meantime, here's Neve Thomas. Underneath for Linke. Wow. Pick out to Sadie Splinter.
13 had just a jab step left, and she had an open layup and gave it up. I wonder if she's just not a scorer per se. Well, if she scored underneath, that wasn't a problem.
Zoe Black was off target, but Prospect get the putback from Sadie Splinter. And here's Cherry. And that goes out of bounds, but a foul.
Substitute here by Prospect. Splinter coming back in. Skylar Splinter. There's 2 of them, I believe. Sisters.
I would assume a senior and a junior. Skylar takes over for Sadie.
That's it.
3
That's
from
it.
Samantha Cherry. Wouldn't go.
I love the shot. Wide open 3. Take that all day.
Intercepted by Danica Little. And here comes Zellarella Miles.
Oh, nice little jab step there.
Miles runs into pressure and gets the ball stolen by Splinter.
Oh, you got to block that. If you're going to take a foul, but that you can't let that layup go in.
Neve Thomas benefits on the other end, and it's a 10-point game for in favor of the Knights. And a travel called on the other end on Cherry.
So what's happening is Prospect is playing such tough man-to-man defense. Man-to-man, that's the only term I can use. I'm just old, so no offense. But they're on each other's hip. Like they're physically on your hip, and that gets frustrating when you're trying to handle the ball and make some screens and whatnot.
In the corner and a wide open three for Zoe Black. Wouldn't go. And
Run.
Getting the board is
That's it.
Zarella Miles.
All the way.
Miles
Oh,
takes
great
it to the
job.
rim and pulling up and getting the points.
No hesitation. That is awesome. Like, I got the ball. I see daylight. I'm going.
Splinter was left wide open and the shot wouldn't go. The putback from Zoe Black, also a no-go.
Yep.
And a travel called on Splinter.
That was one of the best calls I've seen all night because that could have gone a couple different ways. It clearly was a travel.
EG looking to pick up win number 4 in a row and on the season.
Yeah, Coach Moore and I spoke. He's like, we're just looking for growth right now. We're all trying to figure it out. The players are trying to figure us out. We're trying to figure them out.
Underneath, nice pass to Splinter. Takes it to the rim, wouldn't go. The putback on the offensive board. And Colleen Schutz has 2 points.
Splinter has a high RPM and a high basketball IQ. She's dominant this first quarter. I did see that our favorite Sefik was in here on the last. That must have been a sub I didn't see. Be interesting to see. She's really good down low. Really good down low.
She's a senior, but I don't remember seeing her on the roster last year.
Nor do I. Nor do I.
Well, while we got a break, let's look at the standings in the NSL West, or excuse me, NSL East, wrong conference. Rolling Meadows are 3-0 and 11-2.
Not
and
surprising, right?
They always had the potential, but this season they're really finding a way to put it together.
Yeah.
Hershey is off to an uncharacteristically slow start, 8-5 overall and 2-1 in conference, as well as EG and Prospect. But there's a big drop-off from third place Hershey to fourth place EG.
Yeah, Wheeling and Buffalo Grove. Buffalo Grove is 0-11. You spoke to that earlier. That's amazing to me. That is amazing. But Rolling Meadows, they have a great program. Women's well, they have a great basketball program overall, you know. Prospects usually in the hunt on the women's side.
1-11, dead last is Buffalo Grove. But music is still going as play is continuing. That's out of bounds.
Okay, watch 23 down here. I enjoyed the last couple games she played. She's into it completely. What I've noticed about Prospect is they don't have anybody tall, but they don't have anybody short either. They're just kind of like above average height.
Middle of the road height.
And extremely aggressive on defense.
There's a jumper from Maher that didn't get anything, but the offensive board of Miles. Now taken away and taken right back by Sefik.
Maggie's back in.
Good to see her back. Here's Maher. Throws one up toward the bucket and gets the roll.
Nice take to the rim.
Linky thought about shooting, decided to take it to the rim, and it gets tipped off of
Great
EG.
block by Duckman. That was all ball.
Duckman gets credit for the block, and the ball will stay down here.
They're going to run a box where you're going to see some screens for a down low. If it's not there, there's the kick out, and then usually the inbounder comes out here to the three, and there you go. Oh, she had to lay up if she wanted it.
Underneath to Zoe Brown, and that one wouldn't go for the Knights. It's an 8-point game.
Maher wants it.
Maher for three,
Oh,
and that
that's a
one
great
clanks
shot.
off.
Great shot.
Clanks off the iron for Maher. Quickly the other way goes Splinter, and she rolls it in.
Yeah, she doesn't have a yellow or a red light. She's got a green light. When she gets over half court and sees any space, she's heading towards the rim, and she's shown she can finish.
Zariella Miles running the point. Now it's Maher.
Timeout by coach. I think we're calling maybe close to a 5-second call there.
Courtney Linfors takes the timeout.
Good coach, Courtney. Good coach. This is Coach Moore. They're well-liked coaches in the system.
I was just about to ask you regarding Coach Lynn Forrest. How do you think she's done in the 1.5 seasons at EG?
Oh, I think she's been great. I mean, obviously, I believe she was all conference more than 1 year, I believe.
As a player, yeah.
Yeah, as a player. Her sister was a great player. Her younger sister was a great player. It's a basketball lineage. Her dad, who most of Elk Grove knows, I think he might have played pro overseas, but she has a great temperament, right? She can scream and yell, but she brings it back, and she makes it personal back to the kids, and it's worked. I think she's going to be here a long time, hopefully.
Cameras just showed Kira Peasley, former member of this team. Lots of alumni coming back to see their alma mater play a game in the holiday period.
Yeah, nice time of year, right? Get back, see your old school.
See your old teammates, maybe. Prospect have a 10-point lead, and that's stolen away by Miles, taking it all the way to the rim, and won't get the roll. Offensive board from Duckman, and she gets another one and grabs the foul.
Ella's just got to use the backboard there. It's easier said than done when you got a bunch of arms around you, but just take a step back. Like I said, you never get called for a foul by taking a step back unless it's a travel. You just use the backboard.
Riley Carroll called for that foul. And so Ella Duckman, sister of all-time girls. I don't know if she was all-time, actually. I'd have to check that. Sister of Lily Duckman, who was a 1,000-point scorer for the Elk Grove girls team.
She wasn't all-time. She was darn close. That was a fun team to watch, if you remember. There were some good names on that team.
A couple years ago.
Yeah. They played well. What was the little guard? Gosh, she was so good.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
That's going to come to me, but
yeah. In the meantime, here's Prospect.
Yeah, actually, Ella was on that team. I don't think she got a ton of minutes, but she got some playing time.
Yeah, she got to play one season with her sister.
Allie linked down low. We haven't called her name out, but she's playing a solid post here. She's using her positions. She's using screens. She's using her body. They're just not getting her the ball.
That's a three from Splinter. Wouldn't go, and it'll stay with Prospect.
Splinter and the Prospect coach are not going to like that shot she just took. It was just too rushed. She's too good of a player to be rushed like that. There wasn't really a defender near her.
Colleen Shute comes into the game, replacing Skylar Splinter. And Matt Weber will probably be saying exactly what you just said. It's kind of a loose board and taken away by Maher.
I like the jump stop.
Putting up a shot and getting it to go.
She had a breakaway, but the ball rolled up on her hip, and the defenders was thinking she was going for the layup, and she just jump stopped and hit the deuce. That's a serious move right there.
Maggie Maher already at 13 points, having herself a really good start.
That's just a really dangerous pass right there.
Trausch throws one up toward the board and couldn't get that one to go. Knights grab the board.
Gabe, there is no such thing as a good jump pass. It's just non-existent.
Too risky.
Absolutely.
That's a three from Colleen Shute. Emma wouldn't go, but another offensive board from Zoe Brown. Loose on the floor and picked up by Carroll.
Elko's playing some tough defense. They're giving away some height, but
oof. Wow, Yankees pass too hot to handle. And
that was an absolute Nolan Ryan fastball.
Gina Falls.
Nice.
Gina Falls gets the bucket. I know exactly what you mean, though.
It was such a hot pass that it hit her hands and went right to her teammates.
Got a lucky bounce.
Oh, don't pick up your dribble there.
Duckman kicks over to Trausch.
Nice take by Trausch.
Couldn't get it. And perhaps was wrestled to the ground by Trausch. Zoe Brown. Nothing was called. And that goes off of a Prospect player. I believe off of Shute, and it's Elk Grove ball.
What you saw there is just a basic boys and girls Prospect philosophy, and that is an odd person break, right? You take it down the middle, right? Your first thought is, I'm going to have a layup. The minute somebody comes over, they kick it to either side, and it's an easy shot. Now, do they go in or not? I don't know, but it's just a great play. They're well coached.
25-16 in favor of the Knights. 11-point
Cherry got pushed a little, but I believe it was a travel.
Samantha Cherry called for the travel with 3:41 remaining in the first half.
Gosh, Prospect's offense is just outside the three-point line. I don't quite understand it because they are a little taller than us. And they kind of have a four-stack vertical, and then they just have somebody running the baseline waiting to get open for a layup. But just kind of an odd offensive set.
Going to the cup there was Ella Duckman, and now she'll go to the line. But before that, a timeout.
You know, I very rarely look at the scoreboard, Gabe. I like to see the play more than anything. But I look up here at 25-16. It's about where I thought. I thought maybe Prospect would be up maybe 2 extra points, but we got 3:27 left, right? And if Elk Grove, just give me a 4-0 run. 4-0 run, a 3-0 run, just anything. You're in it. You're totally in it. Nobody's in foul trouble on either side. I mean, Maggie Meyer is leading the entire Northwest suburbs right now at 13 points and with a little more than 3 minutes to go in the second quarter. I mean, that's just a great start for her.
Prospect is in second place at 7-6 on the year, looking for their third conference win of the season.
Yeah, when we first did Elk Grove, they were winless. And you're telling me now they're up to 4 wins, right? 3 wins? 3 and 9?
They're 3-9.
Yeah.
That was the Conant game, right? The one that they just barely lost. They were in it until the very end.
Yeah, they went absolutely dead cold at the worst time, and it was just, that's kind of how it happens. But their energy level was awesome. They won, like I said, I think they won 2 or 3 quarters out of the 4.
Yeah, lost. Well, it says 40-35, but I watched the game online, and I thought for sure it was a 1-point victory by the.
It was, Gabe, and that goes back to what we talked about in the first game. Was I was concerned on that with the new foul rule because Elk Grove needed foul 1-on-1 miss to get some points, and that's what started to make me think like I'm just not sure about that new rule yet.
Of course, if you missed us talking about that in the first game, it was changed this year from pretty much in essence the college rules as Maggie Maher takes the ball away, takes it all the way to the rim, won't get the roll.
Boy, she just didn't get paid off on that, but everything was right.
Troush went flying in. Troush went flying in to try and take it away from Allie Linke.
Of course, playing some good ball right now, honestly. They really are. They need another scorer other than Maggie. She's getting super aggressive, and I love it.
Maher pokes that free. Prospect retained possession. Underneath for Linke, and it's taken away by.
She's got to give it up to get it back.
Taken away by Troush. Here's Maher and Troush.
It's travel.
And.
Yeah, she slipped out. Blew out a right foot.
They do call the travel on Troush. We were talking earlier about the triple threat athletes. I should mention Ariana Troush as well.
Yeah, great
not a triple threat, but she is a double threat with basketball and softball.
Softball, excuse me. Girl's like in a little zone here, kind of, sort of. Prospect's going to run that baseline all day, and then they're looking for that.
Linke, nice dish to Skylar Splinter for the 2.
Yeah, she just got behind the whole entire defense. Nobody saw her.
Here's Maher with Splinter in the coverage against her. Splinter takes it away. She's got an easy run to the rim and gets the bucket and the foul after Danica Whittle hustled back on defense.
Boy, she just got a nose for the layup. I don't know how many points did she have, 12 or 7, excuse me. I don't think anything's outside of 4 feet. she just gets to the rim so easily.
John, on that play specifically with Danica Little, obviously you don't want to coach the hustle and aggression out of her, but would you maybe tell her on a fast break like that to just let it go?
Yeah, I mean, you're going against the best player. You got to assume she's going to make her free throws. I don't mind the foul that much. Danica's not in foul trouble. We just didn't have the position. Danica got there a couple seconds late, but yeah, I mean, it could go either way.
Here's Maher floating one up. Won't get that one to drop for her. And it's a 30-17 night advantage. Here's Linky. Dishes nicely.
Oh, that is just not right.
Duckman thought she got all ball.
Oh, she certainly got all ball.
Referees
I was actually
thought
close
otherwise.
enough to that one, Gabe. That was like one of the first calls in a year that I've been close enough to say that was bad. The other times I'm just angry, that's all.
On the line for two is Campbell Connor, senior guard. Of course, they don't give us the heights for either team.
No, that's a bit frustrating. Prospect's a little bigger than I thought now that they're down on this end. 22 and 23, they got to be probably 5'8", 5'9" at least. And Splinter is just an athlete. Good player.
Here's
Heady on
Miles.
defense.
Miles for Little. And Maher splits between the two defenders and gets the dirty work, 2 points.
That's a fantastic move by Maggie. There we go.
Overcooked from Neve Thomas, and it's a night turnover with less than a minute to go.
Now, Coach Linfors here, I would not hold for one because we're down, right? Let's try to get 2 for 1 if we can. A little different scenario than the boys' game earlier.
Here's Zyriella Miles. Oh, loses it for a second. Catches back up to it.
That's it.
Duckman to the cup.
On the floor.
Foul waved off.
Off the ball, too.
And they called it on Neve Thomas. 31-19 Prospect.
Both teams sitting at 3 with 43 seconds, so I don't think we're going to see any free throws this half. Oh, Maggie.
Quick
wide
into
open.
Maher. She couldn't get it to go off the front of the rim. Here's Splinter the other way. She ran out of luck. And it's Elk Grove ball.
This is
Danica
what
Little.
I say. Coach and Danica Little, you know, they're having a funny moment there because I think Coach called her off it. And actually, I think when Coach Linfors admitted afterwards, she's like, I might have been wrong on that one.
Yeah. She let it go, and she had a lot less room than she thought she did. Miles just out of reach of Maher, and it's a turnover with less than 20 seconds to go. And Carroll, and the 2. Here's Miles. With
Gotta
the
get
crowd
to Maher
counting her
somehow.
down.
Just keep going all day.
Maher for Troush at the buzzer. And last second, put it up, and it won't go. And that ends the first 16 minutes of game number 2 of this doubleheader. Prospect out to a predictable 33-19 lead.
Yeah, the 2 leading scorers, one for Elk Grove, Maggie Maher just like unconscious, and Splinter, who just has a nose for the rim, she's coming into this with 10. So there's your 2 scorers of the entire game, really. Each have at least half their points. Splinter's got a third, but
Stick around, we'll have second half coverage right here on EGTV from Elk Grove Village. Welcome back to the final half of basketball here tonight at Elk Grove High School. 33-19 in favor of the Prospect Knights. John Walls, Gabe Newman, pleasure to join you. John, what are your thoughts on that first half?
I look up, they're down 14. It's like I have a hard time buying it, but if you start really going in depth, it's like, boy, Prospect just has a nose for the rim. I mean, when they get the opening, they go, and they go hard. They're very athletic, and they're taller than what I thought early on. So Elk Grove's just going to have to watch the breakouts. Just don't let anybody get behind you.
Oak Grove have their starters out there. And
Maggie picked up her dribble too far out there. Maggie Maher had a great half, right?
She did. She had 15 points.
Listen, 15 points in a high school basketball game is legit for anybody, and we're just 30 seconds into the second half. Anxious to see how she finishes this out.
Prospect have their starters out as well. Nobody in too serious foul trouble.
Prospect's in a little bit of a zone, like a help zone. They're going to force Elk Grove to take an outside shot. Maggie dribbled right off her foot.
Taken away by Skylar Splinter, going back the other way. And Prospect slow it down and spread it out.
Yeah, that's a remarkably different attitude towards Splinter there. First half, she would have been to the rim for a 2. So Prospect's obviously coaching just a little bit of a slowdown game.
Trying to take a little air out of the ball and chew some clock. Taken away by Troush, but not fully. Prospect get it back, going to the rim, and getting the foul is Zoe Brown.
I mean, I don't want to sit here and say Prospect's the only program that runs this, but this has been their MO for 10, 20 years. Is you get the lead, you're passing perimeter, but you're always looking for that cut towards the rim for the layup. And I don't care how good you are on defense, if somebody's jab stepping you and trying to get away from you, eventually one of the 5, they're going to get open. Somebody's going to break down on D. And that's what you saw there.
Zoe Brown gets 2 from the charity stripe, and it's a 35-19 night advantage. Maggie Maher coming back the other way, looking to add to 15 points.
I kind of like this defense for Prospect in a way that it's just...
Taken away by Splinter, going straight to the rim, wouldn't go. Getting the offensive board as Gina falls. And once again...
Splinter just had a little left-handed scoop shot there that just barely didn't go in. She's got some pretty decent game.
Splinter wide open 3, and wouldn't get that one to fall. Getting the board for the Grenadiers is Cherry.
So Elk Grove's going to have to bust this rim open. Maybe we get one here.
And they call it travel.
Boy, guy farthest away from the play called it. The gentleman right in front of it didn't say a word.
Danica Little charged for the travel. Despite what you said, the referee on the other sideline calling it.
Yeah, it's funny. There's some referee crews that just will not call if it's not their zone. But for the most part, a couple of referees I know, they're like, hey, listen, we're out here just to get the call right, you know, and if I missed it and I got covered, so be it. But
well, there's a reason why they have 3 of them out there and 1 at the table. And it's to minimize any sort of coverage. Or, maximize referee coverage, minimize them being covered.
Right.
Here's Maher looking to get the Grens back into this one.
And it's kind of sad, Gabe, but high school sports, specifically in Illinois, they've had a lot of referee problems. That's a trip.
Doesn't get called on cue. And
they have a referee shortage. And football, basketball, you're seeing some football games being played on Saturday mornings that were never played on Saturday mornings because they don't have enough referees to cover the Friday nights.
Well, week 4, the MSL plays their games on a Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
We saw that starting last year and this year as well.
Yeah. Inbounder every time. You got to follow that inbound pass for underneath on Prospect's inbound plays.
Here's Zoe Brown, and in the corner, that was Carroll.
Now you'll see every once in a while somebody will cut to the rim.
Gina Falls, who can shoot it herself, decides not to. Underneath.
There it is.
Kicks out and drive to the rim from Brown. Wouldn't go. She gets her own rebound and draws a foul. No, they called a
jump ball. Prospect players kind of irate about it.
Prospect got the sweep last year over EG. It was a 69-36 win against EG at Prospect, and then they came here and, or excuse me, that was the boys' team. I have to scroll up a little bit.
I believe Elk Grove's got 1 point this half, I believe. It's gone a little cold.
On the wing for Skylar Splinter.
Right at her. Just go right at her. That's it.
Maher gets hit in the head. Comes up holding her head.
Yeah, that was a lot of ball, but there was an elbow to the temple area. It's going to be 2.
She's going to go to the line for it. I have to clarify, the girls last year lost 63-28 to Prospect in Mount Prospect and lost 62-29 here, so 2 very similar games played by these 2 teams last year.
I don't see that happening this year, although we're on a little bit of a drought here, but yeah, Elk Grove's a better team than last year, I think.
Maggie Maher from the charity stripe gets...
Yeah, the first one was a rare miss, but...
It's 1 out of 2. And it's a 15-point deficit for EG. That's a 3 from Linky. And you don't see her take those too often, at least not in this game. But she took one there, and...
I think that's one of those where the coach goes, no, 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 nice shot. Oh, nice screen. Danica Little's putting her body out there for her teammates.
Here's Duckman.
Kick it out.
On the baseline, loses possession. Going back the other way is Shoot. And a hard foul in the drive to the rim. And it will send Prospect to the charity stripe once again. Be sure to catch EGTV's Holiday Movie Marathon, where you can watch a whole bunch of old-time holiday movies to get you in the holiday spirit of December. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, tomorrow you can catch Santa Claus Conquers the Martians, and Sunday you can catch Scrooge right here on EGTV. It's all leading up to Christmas Day.
Got a late substitution by Prospect. I would not have allowed that, but good form.
Splinter gets that free throw. Lead swells to 19.
Somehow we got to find a way to get this ball a little down low. Prospect's doing a nice job of keeping the ball outside the three-point line.
Here's Duckman for
Troush was wide open.
Miles.
Yeah, that's unfortunate because Troush had worked her way wide open, and she could have had like a 2-step layup. Oh, that's a nice elbow. Phew.
Linky fights through the contact.
No wonder Troush is getting up a little slow. She took one right to the chin.
And Linky will be sent to the charity stripe herself.
Nobody's in foul trouble on the floor.
It's been a very disciplined game so far.
Yeah, Linky's quietly got 8, Gabe. I would not have thought that deep 3 helped her, padded her scoring.
Yeah, she's had a really slow night.
Yeah.
Uncharacteristic of her.
Troush just took another one to the eyebrow. Kind of rough go of it. Oh, Maggie Maher had Troush wide open. Troush wanted it badly, too.
They call a foul on Maeve Joel. Ken Graham says Jewel. Either way, it's a foul on number 11 in blue. Both teams on 3 team fouls for the quarter.
Oh, she's got to get it right back. Oh, my gosh. Danica had no idea, but Maggie was uncovered here in the corner. She set the right screen.
Underneath, and Miles tried to find newly entered Emily Fiorito.
Emily had some minutes last year, if I'm not mistaken, right? As a sophomore, I believe?
Yes. Now she's in there as a junior. She's also a soccer player.
Nice steal.
Taken away by Maher.
All right, look for help.
Maggie Maher taking it all the way to the rim herself and couldn't get the finish.
Snake bit so far this second half, excuse me.
Maher on 13 points. I could have swore the board said 15 earlier.
It did, Gabe, it did.
This must have been a stat correction. Either that or Coach Carlson messed something up. And that goes all the way back to the backcourt.
Don't touch it. There you go.
And it's...
Listen, Coach Carlson, what I've been told here, is one of the coolest, nicest, smartest math teachers in the world.
I can attest to it. I had him.
If he made a mistake, I will be on that. I will be on that.
He would never hear the end of it.
How's a guy do like quadruple calculus and you miss 2 points?
Yeah. I had him for pre-calc my junior year.
Yeah, he and Mr. Bush have always, from what I've heard through my kids and others, they've always been like two of the favorites of all time.
There's Maggie Maher getting back onto the board.
What a great way to get back onto the board. It's a stop for three.
They called it a long two. And here come prospect with Campbell Connor. Off the fingertips, tried to save it with Zoe Black, and it's a turnover. Going back the other way is Troush taking it all the way to the rim. Dump off to Fiorito. Wouldn't go. Fiorito tried to get the rebound.
Ariana was too nice there. I think she had a layup and maybe an and one. Fiorito was wide open and she gave it up. It's a good teammate, but I don't know. Troush has this look in her eye like she's determined here in the second half.
Matt Weber calls a timeout. It's 39-22. We thank you for joining us. John, I just want to say it's been an absolute pleasure to share a call with you again.
Yeah, gosh, we did quite a few of them last few years, man. And Chris has done a nice job. He's filling in. Well, not filling in, he's doing it now, but I was so happy to see you were on the schedule, dude. I would not have missed this at all.
I was looking forward to it ever since Thanksgiving. I mean, even before that.
I think the funnest call I ever did, and basketball is my favorite sport, obviously, but was that state title game, right? When Elk Grove football was.
In the playoffs?
Yeah, in the playoffs.
Yeah,
that was. We had a great time.
That was unbelievable.
It was a great game. I think whoever had the football last won, and it was Hoffman, unfortunately, but yeah, that was a lot of fun, dude. Always had a good time with you.
Definitely had some lasting memories. Hopefully we'll have a chance to make some more.
Yeah, you get back here. So tell me, you're going to Eastern Illinois, right?
Yes.
And this is something you want to do as a profession.
It is, yeah.
And at your age and your level at this point, I don't see anybody stopping you.
Well, I appreciate that. I just got to work my way up.
You will.
It's a matter of starting again as a freshman after after I had so many resources here.
Well, geez, Gabe, senior year, you were the man here, man. You had your podcast. You were in on every locker room. You had all these inside deals with the students, giving you info. It was great.
I still do have some back doors into most of the teams. So if you ever need any info from me, just shoot me a text.
Yeah, I really enjoyed your podcast while you were here. It was very well produced, and I know you did it all on your own.
Troush comes away with it, runs into Splinter, and I think they're going to call a foul on Splinter.
Troush has a different look this half. I mean, she's like just so determined.
I will say one thing about the podcast. It is still going on. It's not done by me. It's done by Charlie Davenport and Brody Ellison, and they're doing a great job figuring things out on their end. And I know they ran into a bunch of technical difficulties, and it's a learning process.
Well, I'll tell you, that program here in Elk Grove, and I don't know what you guys call it, but it's come leaps and bounds in 5-7 years. And there was no such thing 7 years ago.
Yeah.
There just wasn't.
It started 3 years ago.
Yeah, okay.
It was just newspaper before that. Now it's multimedia. And
it's awesome.
Yes, it's a great opportunity.
And who's the facilitator of that? She got hammered.
Kevin Medelsky he handles newspaper and videography, and Patrick McGing does more of the yearbook and choreography. Or is that the right word? Choreography?
Like the layout of it?
Yeah. He handles yearbook exclusively.
Okay.
And he also helps with live streams and stuff like that. Those two.
McGing's another popular teacher here, right?
Yes, they're
Good dude.
They're both very, very awesome, and I wouldn't be where I am without them. And they're two. I wouldn't be able to pick a favorite teacher, but they're definitely two of my favorites.
Yeah, nice free throws by Troush.
39-24 Prospect with the Knights in the bonus.
I want to see Ariana get the double figure. She's at 6, but she's earned it, and she's played. I think she's hustling more than anybody else on the court, both sides of the ball right here.
Maher tips that out of bounds, and it stays with the Knights.
You're just starting to see how deep Prospect is, right?
Yeah, with the height as well.
Yeah, they're probably playing 8.
Thomas in the corner now is Zoe Brown.
What a play.
Thomas decided not to shoot that.
They're looking for that layup again. Well,
there's the three from Brown. Wouldn't go off the side of the rim. And Prospect get the offensive board.
So just under a minute in the third. Down by 15.
EG desperately need a stop. Thomas kicks out to Skylar Splinter.
That's it.
Thomas again.
That's it.
And Splinter again.
Grove's doing a nice job here. That's it.
Underneath, knocked away by Troush, who's got a free ride to the rim.
Good for her. She's earned it.
Ariana Troush catching fire in the third quarter. She's at 8.
You know somebody's seeing it when they make the layup and they're the first person down underneath the other rim. She sprinted down for defense.
Zoe Brown, a hard-earned 2 points there. With 8 seconds remaining in the third frame.
Maggie Maher on this play, she's open every time. They got to find her.
Maher at the buzzer. Wouldn't go. Off
Good
the
play.
iron.
That's a good play. So they're running this screen here for Maggie. Maggie comes up, Little comes around, sets the screen, and then Little is supposed to go towards center court, right, and look on the left side. Prospect's kind of playing like a little bit of a zone, and they're not coming out on Maggie. And if Little could just look to her right, a bounce pass, and Maggie could have 2 feet inside the three-point arc, easy open look. It's happened more than 3 or 4 times.
41-26 in favor of the Knights. Trying to do math in my head. That's 15 points.
Sometimes when you run plays, right, coaches run a play and they believe in that play. They're like, this play will work, we got to do it this way. Sometimes you forget, like, you know, the avant-garde look of it. Like, hey, let's take this and then splinter off from here. Like, and you don't want your team to get into, like, this is how we have to run it. That's not basketball. Number one thing in basketball is if you have an open shot, you take it, no matter how you get there. I hope they see this either on tape or tonight, because Maggie literally is clearly wide open on that screen down here right by the bench.
1 quarter left to go here on EG Combo Night. Our next broadcast on EGTV will be not until January 8th. I'll be back in school, unfortunately. And
yeah, Chris and I will be back at it.
Yep. I believe that's a boys' game against Conant.
Oh, it's a cross-towner.
That's the girls'
There's
game.
this
Came
play
down
right
to the
here.
wire. Here's Duckman. Gets Carroll in her face.
Nice, good pass.
Long 2 from Miles. Offensive board by
Troush.
Troush.
Get it.
Maher wouldn't get the shot to go, and Gina Falls gets the rebound. On the other side, here's Zoe Brown. Linky, who's back in. Brown takes it to the rim, wouldn't get it, and
Body's flying.
draws the foul, much to the dismay of Courtney Limfors, who is irate. Yelling at, I don't know if she's yelling at the ref or at a player, but she, I don't believe, was very fond of that call.
No. Our player got steamrolled, basically.
Well, John, when I come back in May, hopefully I'll be able to get some baseball to commentate. That'll be fun, as I was on the team last year.
Yeah, I remember. We did the game where it was your senior night.
Yeah.
You didn't do it, but I think it was myself and Mr. Jimenez.
Yeah.
Nicholas Jimenez's dad.
Yeah. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I walked up there, take a peek. Those are always great nights for seniors, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Definitely is. I'll always be able to hang my hat on the last at-bat I ever got. I broke up a no-hitter in an 11-0 slaughter rule.
There's nothing
against us.
wrong with that. I love it.
I saved the ball, too.
Why wouldn't you, right? You were clearly the best hitter of the day. Don't ever let anybody take that away from you.
I had the only RBI of the day, too.
I don't care if Martirano or McCourty were batting 380. You were clearly the best hitter that day.
Yeah, that was against Lake Park. That was a very, very strange doubleheader. The first game was a 1-0 win, and the second game was an 11-0 win.
Oh, one of those, right?
Yeah. That was fun, but yeah.
I love the fact that you got the ball. To me, that's better than any trophy.
I don't think Lesniak knows that I got that ball either, because I kind of did it under my hat because it's one of those things where you don't want to.
No, right?
You're 11-0 down. You don't want to.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
You know.
But still.
Yeah. That's never getting out of my sight. Maher puts one up, hits the side of the backboard.
Go.
Getting the rebound back is Little, and she gets blocked.
She got hit hard.
Stays with Elk Grove.
That should be 2 shots. All right, let's see what they come out with here.
Little on the inbound, gets it to Maher.
Jab step, go.
There's Miles.
Splinter's a good player, boy, at 12.
And Maher.
Tenacious. She does not quit.
Maher, who has 18, looking for points 19, 20, and possibly 21 if she gets open. Maher takes it to the rim. Wouldn't go. Out of bounds.
He's looking for help.
Elk Grove ball.
Yeah, he was looking for help. He was blocked out to see who hit it. Boy, Maggie's spending all her energy getting to the rim, and I think she's just out of gas when she gets there. Shoot.
Little on the inbound, gets it to Maher. Out to Trausch and Duckman.
We got to find Trausch another 2 points.
Couldn't get the shot to go was Miles. Gets her own rebound. That's a 3. No, long 2.
Yeah.
Wouldn't go either way.
Elk Grove, I think, is a little tired in the legs. They've been running pretty hard here.
Nice move from Linky. Oh, wouldn't get it to go.
Good left hand.
Duckman grabs the board. Linky.
Coach wants him to run, and I applaud it.
Here's Zariella Miles.
Little's impressed me with her ball skills. She's very smart with the ball.
Throws one up off the ground. Miles does. Wouldn't go. And on the fast break, EG's just tired.
Yep. Absolutely.
Prospects run out of luck, though. Here's Linky, who's had a slow night herself. And a 3 from Splinter.
Flash.
And that's the kill shot.
Yeah, absolutely. 5 minutes to play here. They're going to go up 19. Splinter's now at 15 points.
It's been the Skylar Splinter show tonight.
Yeah, Maggie Meyer, between the two of them.
They combined for 33 between the two.
That's saying a lot in a high school basketball game.
Splinter comes away with the loose ball.
Yeah, she's not done yet.
Picks out, and they get the 2.
Prospects just got in an overdrive right now. It's like they're not even thinking about it. They've just done it so many times. It's just second nature.
That was Campbell Connor that got that bucket, and it's 49-28. Prospect.
Prospect looks like a pretty good team. I think what's going to get them possibly will be height as they go further in, and maybe a state playoff sighting or whatnot. But you can't teach height, and you know what's out there. You know, there's going to be teams that just they have it. But they have a lot of heart. They're always well coached. They don't give up on anything. Play very tight man-to-man defense, which drives some teams nuts. If you don't have some ball handlers, you're having a rough day. Elk Grove's done a nice job. It's just I think they're just running out a little bit.
Running out of gas,
yeah.
Indeed. John, remember we talked about the Brendan Savage situation with Hinsdale South?
Yes.
And I mentioned it started a little bit of a calamity for Hinsdale School District 86. This isn't the only, I don't know if you call it weird or just maybe just odd thing that's happened to them. The Hinsdale Central girls basketball coaching staff, it seemed like an unrelated thing, has nothing to do with Brendan Savage or anything like that. They all walked away from the job on December 4th, and they had a game on December 5th, and they just walked. Nothing has come out as far as I know.
I have a hard time walking out on an 18-year-old or 17-year-old.
I don't.
As an adult, you got to find a way. I don't know any of the details, but
yeah, nothing as far as I know has come out regarding that. But if you're whoever makes the decisions with District 86, and you're dealing with the PR, I mean, that's just got to be a nightmare.
Yeah. You get a coaching staff that walks out on high school kids, I would never allow you to coach again. But
that was probably not a good coaching staff anyway.
Yeah, but again, we don't know all the details.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
I don't know, you can't walk out on kids. It's just not right.
Won't go from.
It's a good shot.
Miles.
That was a good wide open look there.
And left all alone is Splinter.
A rare miss.
That was almost. She was almost too open. And here come EG the other way. Under 4 minutes to play in this game.
She's trying to go 1-on-5.
Duckman gets blocked.
She's looking
wants
for
a foul.
Yeah, she's looking for the call too. I don't blame her.
Underneath for Zoe Brown.
Ooh, Ella's throwing some crafty little elbows, and God love her for it. These guys have kind of let them play tonight. I don't disagree with it at all. It's just right here to Little.
Duckman takes a quick dribble, wouldn't get the shot to go. And here comes Campbell Connor the other way. And Allie Linky. And that's a 3 air ball.
Those are the toughest ones to rebound. You think you're in the right spot and it goes straight over your head.
Sadie Splinter's shot wouldn't go. Allie Linky's does from 3-point range.
Has she had a great second half or what?
She's up to 11 points in the double figures.
Might have come into this half with 4, maybe 6. Maggie's just taking on the world right now.
Maher's shot skips over the rim, won't go. As the clock ticks down. Of course, the last day of finals were today.
Yeah, I bet you everybody's pretty happy about that.
I wonder if the finals has a role to play in the fatigue level of some of these athletes.
Yeah, I don't know. They all go through it, but this is my favorite time of year because you get some games on some off times and off days. And like you said, these tournaments are just a lot of fun, and there's a lot of basketball played on winter break.
On the inbound, they get it to Ashlyn Pomis, and her shot won't go.
They got Splinter on a reach. I think that's Sadie, actually. They got her on a reach in. Prospects starting to empty a little bit here, empty the bench a little bit.
I was just about to ask, when do you think Courtney Linforth is going to do the same?
Yeah, I don't know. Talking to them, I think Coach Moore and Linforth are in a little different situation than the boys. I think they're still trying to figure out some stuff, and Suffolk's in, which is good.
Well, also, not to cut you off, but also the boys are in the first game of the back-to-back. They're playing tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true, too.
So that probably has something to do with the wholesale change that they made. More changes for the Knights. And that one gets inbounded to Maeve Joel. And Allie Hendrickson. With Joel running the point as we tick under 2 minutes here in this game.
Coach Linforth going to the bench here for McCorney. Sophomore, I believe. Yeah.
Zoe Black hits a 3.
Unfortunately, that's a great thing the referee just did there. So McCorney goes to the scorings table. and probably excited to get in, and walks out on the court, which we put 6 players on the court at one time. Coach Linfors tries to call a timeout. The right call is to make the call. There are 6 people on the court, but the referee saw the situation, and he's like, nah, I'll give you a timeout. That's
Gave her a break.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Especially in a blowout game like this.
Yeah, right. And I don't know how many minutes Aubrey has, but she's going to get a minute 34, and good for her. Yeah, the referee kind of gave that, like, I got you, coach.
Yeah.
It's okay.
The Prospect Superfan, I don't have the pleasure of knowing his name, is here sitting behind the Prospect bench.
He's been doing that a long time.
Yeah,
We see him at football games. I think he's actually been at golf tournaments back in the day when my daughter played against Prospect here.
You can see him at the bottom of your screen, right underneath Grenz, that hat, that was him. As I point to the screen in front of me like people can see it. So here we go at the final 90 seconds, ticking down to 80. As the first half of the season is coming to a close.
Help.
Here's McCorney and Maher.
What's the call here?
And they call a foul on Prospect.
Boy, I'm confused on that one. Anyway.
With 67 seconds remaining.
Corny's got some height for us. I mean, as a sophomore, I'd love seeing underclassmen get minutes, especially on score levels like this. We saw it tonight in the boys' game.
What do you think of the EG performance tonight?
I think Elk Grove's out of gas on this one. I've seen them play better the previous time, and yet Prospect's a very good competition to go up against. I don't know how many times we have to say, but they're so well coached. It's essentially a farm system. Like, their feeder system's like 7 times larger than Elk Grove's, and they have a much bigger population, and that's not taking any different. That's just a fact. They just keep refeeding the system, and it works.
I do want to mention one thing, and that's Elena Katsorigianos. Obviously does not get a lot of playing time. She's in the game in the garbage time. She hits a big 3, and the whole bench erupts in cheer for her.
That's great.
Maher pulls up from 3-point land. That won't go.
You can tell Maggie's tired because her last 5 shots have all hit the front of the rim. You know, that's just what happens.
That'll tick the clock down as Maher, you can tell she's just absolutely exhausted. He gets a pat on the head from Courtney Linfors, and that'll wrap up a 30-point dub for the Prospect Knights, 58-28, marking 2 wins for Prospect in both the boys' game and the girls' game. John, your final thoughts?
Number one and foremost, this was good to sit next to you.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely. We're going to have to keep trying to do what we can to get more of these games. We're going to have Chris and I next on January 8th. I don't think there's a rant or rave in the Elk Grove locker room tonight. I think you just kind of a couple key moments that helped them out. They did well. McCorney got some minutes, and get ready for the next one.
I want to thank our crew, Debbie Dennison, Scott Mayernick, and Joey Santowski. And for all our crew, John Wallace, Kate Newman saying so long from Elk Grove Village. The final score in this girls' game, 58-28 in favor of the Prospect Knights. This has been a presentation of Combo Night Basketball right here on EGTV. Happy holidays, everybody.